Hey guys, it's Appleminte. Welcome back again to my channel, and I hope you're having a wonderful Friday so far. For today's video, we are on our 15th edition of Drawing Your OCs. I can't believe I've already done 15 of these. Before we get into it, I just want to say a quick thank you to today's video sponsor. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, TappyToon. TappyToon is an app where you can read the hottest Korean webcomics in English, French, and German. The app has over 300 webtoons in many genres, such as romance, action, comedy, fantasy, and even BL. New titles are added weekly, as well as new episodes every day. You can read new episodes for free with the Time Till Free option or by watching ads. One of the comics that you can read on TappyToon is Who Made Me a Princess, which follows the journey of a girl who is transported to the world of a storybook in the place of a princess who is destined to die. Read to find out how she survives her doomed fate. I'm someone who loves to read webcomics at night before bed to unwind, so I definitely recommend checking out TappyToon and downloading it if you haven't already. So thank you again to TappyToon for sponsoring today's video. So this first character was sent in to me by somebody named Mafuyu, and this is their Dragon Girl character, Ayumu. Now, they sent me an image that had 4 different color palettes on it, and they said that if I ended up choosing their character, I could choose whichever color palette that I wanted to go with. So as you can see on the side there, I chose the 3rd color palette, and it was pretty cool of them to send different palettes over for me to choose from, because I don't really see people do that too often, and it was kind of fun to have my own little choice in it. So I chose the 3rd one just because the colors kind of resonated the most with me. They remind me of Twilight colors, and I also just thought it would work the best with the pose that I had in mind and all that, so I went with that. So thank you for giving me the choice. That was pretty fun. Anyway, for her pose, I was thinking to do her with a lantern. I added that in. This character didn't have one in the reference, so that was my own little liberty there, but my idea was to make a really dark background and make the lantern glowing in front. What I normally do when I do glowing effects is I almost exclusively do that with my digital art. I don't usually do that with marker art or traditional art in general, just because it's a little bit harder to do, and I don't know, I never really do enough marker art that's like full finished pieces, because those I usually do digitally. I was excited to try that out, though I will give you a little spoiler that after I finished the piece, I did realize one thing I could have done differently to make that effect come across a little more, but at that point I didn't want to like mess with any of the colors I had already put down, so you live and you learn, what can I say. But for the sketch itself, I was really happy with how it was coming out. I used one of my red Colorase pencils, although the one that I'm using in the video right now is kind of getting worn down to the nub. I've been using this thing for a very long time, and I did buy a new set of these on Amazon for like $7 for a pack of 12. So I do have more, but I keep, wearing down the one that I have. So as you can see, I added in some little clouds behind her, and like I said, I was planning on coloring that all in black around the background. But the first thing I did was put in all of the colors, and like I said, the glowing effect didn't come across as much as I wanted to, and when I was finished I realized why, and that's because the light source, which is right in front of her, I wasn't thinking, I don't know why, like, when you have a plan in your head and you're like focused on doing that, but then you're not focused on doing that, like that's kind of what was happening here. So I was focusing on making this glowing lantern, but then I completely forgot that I should change the light source to be coming from right in front of her. So my shading isn't 100% making sense with the glowing of the lantern, if that makes sense. Like, I should have had the shadows coming from the right side and the light coming from directly in front of her. Instead, I didn't fully do that, so that might be why in the end I wasn't 100% happy with the effect I was going for. But like I said, it's a mental note for next time, and I don't usually do this kind of thing with traditional art, like ever, so I'm not very surprised I made that mistake. Lighting in general in pieces is always an extra layer to think about, and when I do digital art, I've lately been trying to practice with lighting and blending techniques and brushes and things. But I guess it all just fell out of my head when I was using markers. I don't know why. A lot of people have been actually, well, I shouldn't say a lot. There's a select few people that every once in a while when I post a video of me drawing digitally, I have a select few people that get really upset that I'm doing digital art. And I don't really know why. I understand that they might have a preference for watching me draw traditionally with markers, but I've had a few people, get upset about it in the comments, and there's one or two people that I've even seen be like, digital art isn't real art, stop doing that. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Like, digital art is digital is a medium. It's a form of, or tool, I should say, that you could use for art, just like any other thing, like watercolor or colored pencils and so on. So when people say, oh, it's not real art, in there, to me, that just means that, like, to them, they define real art, quote unquote, as using traditional materials. But I don't really understand that personally. And every time somebody says that it's not real art, I always just want to say to them, then you pick up Photoshop or you pick up a digital program and a tablet, and you get back to me with how that goes, because it's like a whole nother skill set to learn. You could be amazing at something like watercolors or marker work, and then you could sit down with digital software and it doesn't translate at all, because you have to learn how to use everything. You could be the best artist ever, but you need to learn how to use the tools and the medium. So that's my little tangent there, but I don't know why people get so mad when I decide to do digital art. I'm gonna do whatever kind of art that makes me happy or that I feel fits the piece that I'm doing, and I'm also trying to improve, so please cut me some slack when you see me doing digital artwork. I would appreciate that. But anyway, this is Ayumu, and I hope you like the way she came out. Like I said, the glowing effect didn't 100% come across like I wanted it to, but learning for next time. Anyway, now on to the next character. So this next character was sent to me by somebody named Elizabeth, and her name is Lissette Papillon. So they sent me a whole description for this character, so I'm just going to pull some little tidbits out while you watch me sketch her, and then I'll go into my drawing. But she is a moth demon. She has light negation abilities during the evening, so she has night vision, and she has wings that she can spread whenever she wants. So she also really loves the cottagecore aesthetic. She has really big eyes, and yeah, those are a few little things. Oh, and she's a coffee addict. Those are a few things about this character that was sent to me. So thank you for sending her in. She's adorable, first of all. And as you can see for this one, I'm drawing a little bit of a closer up drawing rather than a full body for this one. And I just thought I would mix it up a little. Also because one, I love drawing like faces. That's my favorite thing to draw. So zooming into the face a little more gives you the opportunity to add a little bit more detail. But I figured it would work for this character because they specifically said she had really big eyes, and I really wanted to emphasize that. And so I wanted to focus a lot on the face, and what better way to do that than doing a closer up drawing of a character. So that's why she's a little bit more zoomed in, I guess. I keep saying zoomed in. You know what I mean, but I don't think that's the proper term for it. But anyway, my idea was kind of to have her behind some bushes kind of peeking through. And then I added that flower. On the side here, I just have the character picked out of that. But in the original, they did have a flower and some other little details. So I added that in here into the bush so I could kind of pull that from their reference sheet. Anyway, I thought this character was adorable, and the second I saw it, I couldn't not draw it, especially because I love... well, I guess now that I'm seeing the trend, the last girl I drew was a dragon girl. This one's a moth girl. I like animal/monster girls, so I think I unconsciously gravitated toward that for this video. I guess that's the theme of this video. But yeah, I made her eyes really gigantic. I didn't make them take up the entire eyeball, or eyeballs take up the entire like eye So there are some whites on the side of her eyes that you can see, but I made them extremely big. So I really like that. And I also just had fun coloring this one. Like I said, when you draw stuff that's a lot closer up, you can get a little bit more detail. And so, especially for like the hair or details of the skin or the eyes, you can always get a lot more detail in there than if you're doing a further away full body drawing of a character. So I like to mix it up every once in a while. Also, for shading her white hair, I used a very light warm gray, and I like to not leave everything just plain white. I like to kind of have a little bit of something in there, so I did pretty generously use the warm gray, just so it wouldn't look so flat on her. I will say a few of the markers that I used aren't exact color matches for the colors that were in her reference, but that's okay. You know, sometimes when you're using markers, I can only match so well. If I was doing this digitally, I could probably get the colors exact because I could just pull straight from the reference image that was sent to me. But in terms of markers, sometimes it's a little harder because I do have a limited number. And when I do color, I use, you know, I don't just use my Copics. I use my Ohuhus as well. I use my Bianyo markers, whatever I have in my marker tower. If I can find a match, I will use it. Or, you know, so I did my best here. I didn't have anything to exactly match those colors, but overall I think that they came out pretty close. But I can't believe we're already on the 15th video of this series, honestly. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I enjoy it every time because, like I said in the past, I love redrawing characters for you guys, and I love how excited you get, so I will continue this series onward, and I don't see any point in stopping anytime soon. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys always tuning into my videos every week. These next few weeks are going to be a little spotty with my videos just because if you watched my last few videos, I've been talking a lot about my wedding coming up, so this is a very busy summer. I won't really be around as much, but I will try to get as many videos done as I can before I get too busy. But anyway, as always, all of my links are in the description box below. I have the link to my online store, my Patreon pin club, my Instagram page, and my Discord server. So please check those out. They're all in the description box, and let me know your thoughts on today's video below. Let me know which character you liked better and if you want to see more of this series. So, as always, I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. Bye-bye!